Good evening to all, and you're listening to the Dell and Murray Show, and I hope you all had a lovely week. And who have we got on the show tonight, Thelma?
Yeah, so tonight we've got a really exciting lineup. We've got an interview with the incredible actor, Paul Bradley. So you know he actually plays you a song, Mum,
I know,
just for you.
I know, he starts off a song about me.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. And he doesn't even know me.
Aww. I know. So with that, we're going to kick off with Don't Hide by Tina Kane. It features Twisted Wheels frontman Johnny Brown. It's a beautiful tune.
I know this is the darkest time of your life, but the things that you're thinking, they just ain't right. I was only young and I chose to explore, but all that I found was drink and drugs. So don't hide your heart and your feelings inside. Don't mean you're not a man if you cry, 'cause there's people that love you. Locked in my prison, totally isolated, solitary confinement, full of self-hatred. You had suicidal thoughts, 'cause you was past kidding. We were dancing with the devil in the pale blue light. I know this is the darkest time of your life, but the things that you're thinking, they just ain't right. So don't hide your heart and your feelings inside. Don't mean you're not a man if you cry. There's people that love you. So don't hide your heart and your feelings inside. Don't mean you're not a man if you cry. There's people that love you. 'Cause there's people that love you. 'Cause there's people that love you. So don't hide your heart and your feelings inside. Don't mean you're not a man if you cry. There's people that love you. So don't hide your heart and your feelings inside. Don't mean you're not a man if you cry. There's people that love you. There's people that love you.
So yeah, that was Don't Hide by Tina Kane. So we're going to have him on the show on the 13th of August before his album launch, Songs with Tina Kane. And that song's featuring Twisted Wheels frontman Johnny Brown. I loved the lyrics of the tune. When I was speaking to Tina, we actually spoke about how powerful the lyrics were and how relevant it is. And yeah, it's absolutely incredible. Anya?
I think it's an everyday life, really, isn't it? And songs he's dedicated to.
Yeah.
And next, we have an interview with the lovely Paul Bradley.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you all know Bradley. He was in EastEnders, and his name was Nigel.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in it for years.
Yeah.
And also, he was also on, was it Holby City he was in?
Holby City, yeah, he played Elliot. And he's had an incredible stage career, and he's also a musician.
Yeah.
He's
I
absolutely
actually-
amazing.
I didn't know he was a musician as well.
Yeah.
I know he's a brilliant actor anyway.
Mhm.
I used to love him on EastEnders.
I know. So this is our interview with Paul Bradley. We hope you enjoy this. Hello there.
Hi,
How are you, Paul?
I'm fine, thank you very much. Yes, yeah. Weather's not great, but well, we're stuck inside, aren't we?
I know. And where are you based at the moment?
Down in London, yeah,
Oh,
Stoke Newington, North London.
mhm.
Yeah, it's very jolly here. There's places to go when you know. It's a nice little park around the corner, and down by the River Lee, you can watch people rowing and things. And yeah, it's all right.
Beautiful. And how's lockdown for you to do? Has it been okay or?
Yeah, it's getting a bit boring, but most actors are used to being out of work for a long time. The only difference is that there's doesn't seem to be much prospect of work in the future, but that'll change hopefully. Otherwise, we're all done for. But you know, one of the quite well, it's not, but one of the things is you realise that nobody's working, you know. So people who always work, like you know, Maxine Peake and Olivia Colman, and they're not working either. So you can console yourself with that. But no, hopefully it'll change.
Mhm. No, completely. Because when I met you in the smallest bar in the world,
That's right. Yeah.
hmm?
Well, when I talked to somebody and I said this pub's quite big, he said it's not the smallest pub, it's the smallest bar.
Yeah.
And it's right, because the bar's right under the stairs, isn't it? It's just the sort of length, and there's somebody behind there, and it's a lovely little pub. What's it called? Is it the Grey Horse or
Oh
something?
yeah, it's the Grey Horse, not the Circus.
Yeah, yeah.
I get
But
confused.
it's one of those lovely old-fashioned Manchester pubs. Because I was up at university there years ago, and the pubs were fantastic, and there'd be lots of local breweries, you know, doing what people are trying to do now, you know, craft ales. There was one, and it was quite new. It was off the Oxford Road. It was behind the BBC, and it used to brew beer on the premises. And I forget what it's called, but you could look at the huge vats of it being made, and yeah, but there were lots of little local, like Lee's, and I think Lee's is still going.
Yeah.
But I was in a pub in Manchester when we were up rehearsing, and I forget where it was. It was near the gosh, I can't remember it used to be a music hall. Was it Bridlington Place? Or, anyway, I went into this pub, and it had this fantastic glass that had sort of like indentations for your fingers and one for the thumb, and it was brilliant because you sort of like you get a really firm grip on the glass, and it just looked so nice, you know. Anyway, when I finished my pint, I went up to the barman and I said, you know, I think these glasses are fantastic. Is there anywhere I can buy them? You know, can I buy one here? And he said, I'm not looking at you while you stick it in your back. So he sort of encouraged me to nick one, and I've still got it. But yeah, I have very, very fond memories of Manchester, because I was up at university here years and years ago. I was in the same year. I was a drama at the university.
Completely. I was just about to ask how you started off acting.
Yeah. And I was in the same year as Rick Mail and Ade Edmondson. I'm still in touch with Ade. Yeah, it was a great time, really, really, really great time, and fell in love with Manchester. The music at the time was fantastic. Yeah. There was, I remember going to the, I went to the Hacienda, and but I always remember the Hacienda as having the most appalling sound, you know, because it was just like this tin box, and you get reverb, but I had many a sort of interesting evening there, and yeah, it was great.
Yes, it was my, like, when I was younger, I was thinking if I could go back in time, like, I'd love to be at the Hacienda. But
yeah, there was a real vibe about Manchester.
Yeah,
you know, lots of bands going on. I saw, actually, Rick Mail took me to see Dr. Feelgood. I remember it was at the is it the Free Trade Hall?
Yep.
Yeah, and we were up in the gallery,
Mhm.
and you could see the. I thought it was the stage moving, but the gallery was going up because people were jumping up and down so much. The
Yeah.
gallery started moving. You know, it's sort of actually
Yeah.
bouncing. And you could see blokes downstairs pointing up, and I think they stopped the gig and said, you know, unless you want to land up in the stalls, people in the gallery shouldn't dance so much, you know. But yeah, saw some great stuff there.
Yeah. And after the University of Manchester then, how did your acting life evolve? Because you've done some incredible stuff.
It was a great course because they had this thing on Monday evenings called where you could just do whatever you wanted, and you got a small budget. You got like about £5 to spend on props, but people did you know, bits of Shakespeare, bits of Beckett, and there was a real feeling of, and we used to get the studio group, it was called, and it was on every Monday night. And I remember one time Rick and Ade did this thing where it was really funny, and they stood either side of the stage, and they were sewn into pink duvets.
Yeah.
And they started doing it. It was really, really funny, and people loved it, you know. But on the Tuesday, you had to come in and with the tutor, and they'd discuss what went on the night before. So you'd have to sort of justify it, you know. And I remember the tutor saying, "Well, you know that was brilliant. It was very, very funny. But why were you in pink duvets, you know?" And Rick said, "Oh, didn't you get it? We were God's bollocks." And so there was all sorts of different stuff going on, and Manchester course was very lively. There was loads going on, and I made my professional theatre debut at the Royal Exchange Theatre in Lady from the Sea with Vanessa Redgrave, and then I worked on the stage crew there, and I actually did a play. I was on the stage crew, and somebody fell ill, and because people knew I wanted to be an actor, and I'd started understudying people in that play, The Schoolmistress, it was called.
Yeah.
And anyway, this person went ill, and the director came to see me and said, "Have you been understudying his part?" And I said, "Actually, I haven't, but give me a while and I'll learn it." So I went away for an hour, locked myself in the loo in the theatre, came back, did a rehearsal at 12 o'clock, went on for the matinee at 2:30 in the evening, and then did it for a week. And then the actor came back and then fell ill again, and I did it for the rest of the run. And that actor went on to be, do you know Malcolm Hebden?
I've heard of him.
He was in Coronation Street. It was him.
No way.
Yeah. So it was brilliant, and I always wanted to. I did a lot of work at Contact Theatre.
Yeah.
I did Can't Pay Won't Pay, I did, which was a real success there, and Man Equals Man with Rick Mail, and then I did a bit in Liverpool and all around. But I always wanted to work at the Royal Exchange, and I did sort of like small parts there, a couple of small parts after going on in The Schoolmistress, and then earlier in this year, I got this gig to be at the Royal Exchange, and I remember taking a selfie outside, you know, and sort of like just going, "Oh my God, you know, this is a dream come true," because it's such a fantastic theatre building anyway. But it's a great place, really well supported. There's you know, they do great stuff there. It's like the National Theatre of the North.
Yeah.
And because it's had a sort of special place in my career, I always wanted to go back there and do a proper part, you know. And I was playing Turner, the painter, in a new play, Rockets and Blue Lights,
Yeah.
and
Which unfortunately,
it got pulled.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was on BBC iPlayer though, wasn't it?
It was, yes, yeah. We did a voice recording of it.
Mhm.
They sent round sterilised microphones to everyone's house,
Yeah.
and we recorded it, which was brilliant. It's good to have a record of it, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And just tell us a bit about it.
It's set in. It sort of crosses time.
Yeah.
So it starts in a gallery.
Mhm.
With two characters looking at Turner's painting Slave Ship, which was sort of quite, at the time, there was a lot of agitation for abolition of slavery. And Turner painted this picture, which is about, it refers to an incident called the Zong Massacre, where basically slave owners, they were running out of water, so they threw slaves overboard and murdered them, you know. But they then tried to claim compensation for the slaves that they'd thrown overboard, and there was a big case in London about it. And what the case established was that slaves were property.
Yeah.
And so the ship owners were liable to getting compensation. And that was one of the things that, with Turner's painting, sort of, added to the conversation at the time about abolition. And but he was a complex character. He also invested in a sugar works that was run by slaves. So so that was my part in it. But it sort of goes from people on a slave ship to contemporary times, where this actress is in a play, in a film about slavery, and I play another character who's playing Turner. So it's sort of like play within a play within a.
Yeah.
But it was a fantastic play, and of course none of us knew that it would be so relevant with George Floyd and Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
So it was, you know, but that's the sort of thing that the Royal Exchange does. It sort of it puts on amazing new plays, and this was one of them, and it was fantastic to be part of it, but then very sad to be cut short.
Yeah.
I was at a very weird time a couple of days before, because we were supposed to open on St. Patrick's night, and on Friday the 13th, I was on the way to, it was in Chorlton, I was on the way to get to work, and these two dogs attacked me. And I got taken to A&E, and yeah, it was very weird. What was weirdest, though, was that, I mean, they was quite big dogs, you know, and vicious, and they I don't know why, but they came out of a gateway, and one of them came behind and bit my bum. And the other one bit my leg, and so I was shouting, and I backed into the road, because the traffic was, it was like early in the morning, and it was sort of quite full. But of course nobody would open their door, because you know, you wouldn't let a mad dog in your car. But I swear this is the truth. I put my hand out, and there was a white van next to me, and I looked on the white van, and it was a police dog control van. They were on their way. Yeah, amazing.
What distance?
I know, and the two of them got out, and they went straight to the dogs and put the dogs on leads. So I thought, oh my God, they're police dogs. I've just been attacked by police dogs. And anyway, they came over to me and they said, you know, what happened? And I said, are they your dogs? And he went, no. He said, we're dog trainers, and we're on the way. There's a dog training park in Chorlton, up the road. So they were on their way there. I mean, but if it hadn't been for them, I would have been, much more badly injured.
Yeah. But thankfully it was okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but that was our first preview night, and I went in, and the director said, you don't have to do the show. And I said, no, I want to do. Just give me a while to, So I went away and had a sleep. Sometimes you have a really, really deep sleep.
Yeah.
This really, really deep sleep. So I felt fantastic. I mean, we'd been working very hard that week, and everyone was quite knackered,
Yeah.
But after the sort of shock of being bitten and having this great sleep, I felt really ready and up for it, So I did the show in the evening, and yeah. But
mm-hmm.
So I mean, hopefully, when this is all over, the Exchange will do it again. But nobody knows really. Yeah,
I would love to go and see it live.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It had a fantastic set. It had a lot of it was white. The floor was white, and if you dropped water on it, it turned black. And then at the end, they had this big pool of water which people came out of, because it's set by the docks as well. And the pool of water got spilled onto the stage and turned black. So it was amazing, and there was lovely music. The music was by Amy Winehouse's guitarist.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and he was amazing, and so it was great. It was. I mean, I have very mixed memories of the Exchange now, but hopefully I'll get back and do my King Lear there or something.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you think lockdown's affected actors such as yourself and artists, and obviously venues like the Royal Exchange?
Well, I don't like to think about it much, because it doesn't look good. People are not going to want to sit in a room with other people in the dark while this is still going on. And I think it'll be at least January before anything is considered. Because of course people are saying that in winter there's going to be a second wave,
Gosh, no, not.
Yeah, so it's it's not looking good, but it will come back. It just depends how long. And telly and films will find a way of doing things. I heard of this Australian location where they just locked everyone down, and all the crew and all the actors, everyone involved was locked down, and anyone showed any signs, they did testings, and then they keep it in a combined a controlled environment. So I suppose that's the way it's going to go, but I don't know anyone who's working. Some people are doing voiceovers and things like that, and but otherwise
completely. It's quite a scary time. Like, you probably know Waxy O'Connor's.
Yeah,
I think that's gone now completely.
Oh wow.
So
wow.
And that was a great venue.
Yeah, quite a few venues will go down, I think.
Yeah, completely. And so, Paul, a lot of people watching this will recognise you as Nigel Bates from EastEnders.
Yeah. Yes, that was a while ago. In fact, they're showing on Drama Channel, they're showing some old EastEnders. And there was some, I caught one the other day, and I didn't know I was on it, in Sharongate, where Phil has slept with Sharon, and Grant finds out, and then Grant punches Phil, who ends up in the garage, under the car pit. And I come in at the end and discover him there. And I remember when we shot it, I said to the director, "It's a bit odd, I just come in and don't do anything." I said that, and anyone coming in would sort of like go to see if he's all right. And the director said, "No, it's a Duff Duff." And I went, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Well, when they see he's in, and when you come in, there's a close up of him in the pit, and it's a duff, 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 duff." So he said, "Just come in and stand there looking." So yeah, but I had a great time. I was there for about 5 years, and I started. I did 2 episodes. I came in as friends of Phil and Grant's from school, and my mum had just died, I think. And in those days, you could buy your costume if you went to the BBC, and I quite liked the costume, and it's quite a nice suit. And so I went to ask the costume, and they said, "Oh no, I think you're coming back." And that's how I found out, you know.
That's amazing.
And, yeah, it was, but it's sort of it's funny with an actor, because your main power has been able to say no. You know, I don't want to do that, I'm not. I'm really glad I did EastEnders and Holby, but it wasn't how I thought my career was going to go at all, because I was sort of like getting lead roles in theatre in you know, in Manchester and Liverpool and things like that, and I thought that would continue, or you know, go to London, try and get in the West End, try and get some TV and film. Sort of like, I saw myself more as a jobbing actor, and so when I got offered the job, which was it was actually a friend who was a producer. She was at Manchester as well, and she offered me it, and I sort of had a sort of second thought. I sort of thought, "Oh, do I really want to do this?" You know, not snobbishly or anything, but just it's quite a thing going on a program like that, you know, because the attention is huge, you know, and
of course.
Loads of people know that you're going to do it, you know, and it makes going out tricky.
Yeah.
And but my missus said, "We're in debt. We're about to be thrown out of our flat. I don't even think you've got much choice."
Oh.
But then I you know, I just got on with it and really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But one of the things that's a bit odd about doing a soap is that it's not like if you get offered a film or a play, you read it and you go, "Well, I don't think I could do that," or "I can do that." But when you sign up for a soap, you sign up for that character's life over a year, you know.
Completely.
And so you don't really know what's going to happen. And I got, it was actually Steve McFadden came up to me and said, "Do you know what's going to happen to your character?" And I went, "No, I don't ask, you know, because I prefer to leave it." And he said, "I think you should ask." So I asked, and they said, "Oh, you know, you get accused of being a paedophile." And I just went, because my son was very young, you know, and if you were offered that part in a film, or I wouldn't do it, because there's nothing I could bring to that that world. And as a parent, it's one of these things that you absolutely you know, it's a complete taboo, and you know, thinking about it makes people sort of think violent thoughts and things like that. And they said, "Oh, you know, you only get accused of it. You're not really a paedophile." But the thing is, for 4 weeks, you'd be out, because they stretch things out. I'd be out in the real world, and people will be going, "Oh, Nigel the nonce," and things like that.
I think that's the thing. Like, you get typecast a lot, and people, obviously, a lot of people relate to the characters, and a lot of people like build into that. Do you know what I mean? So, like you were saying, there's, I imagine, as from your position, there's like a level of responsibility because you're obviously your father and the rest of it.
Yeah. So I just said I can't do it, and I sort of, you know, they could have sacked me, but luckily they didn't, and they brought my love interest back, and then we got married. So,
Oh,
but the thing about soaps is they eat up stories, you know, and sometimes there are reasons why certain stories aren't done,
yeah.
because I think they're a turn off for people, you know. Anyway, I was sort of grateful to be kept on,
Hmm.
and then after a while, I sort of thought, well, I don't want to be just known as the actor who played Nigel. You know, I didn't want that on my gravestone. He only played Nigel, you know.
Of course.
So I left, and that was a bit weird because it was like it opened as many doors as it closed, you know.
Yeah.
And then I got offered a lot of work that was just like Nigel, and then I just thought, well, there's no point leaving if you're just going to play that same character.
Yeah.
But one of the best things I did when I left, I got offered The Pianist with Roman Polanski,
Amazing.
and that was absolutely amazing, you know.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so yeah, it was great doing that, and it's a great film.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And so after The Pianist, then did you move to Holby then?
I was about 4 or 5 years out, and I did a couple of plays. I went to the National. I did a small play there. I loved working at the National. I'd worked there years ago when I was first starting.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, they said I'd been there a year, and the director said, you know, it's going to be like unlike any other company. Is that people who are doing small parts will progress to middle parts, you know, and we're going to be a real ensemble. And then after a year, they announced, you know, the casting for the next lot of plays, and I was just holding a spear again. So I sort of thought, I'm not learning much here or doing much. You know, you can learn a certain amount by watching other people doing it.
Mm-hmm.
There comes a point where you've got to say, well, can I do it? You know, and you've got to test yourself. So I went along to the director or the casting director, and they said, well, you know, you'll be playing this and this. And I went, I don't want to sign up again. Mm-hmm. And the director said, if you don't sign up, I will never employ you again. And I went, well, that's unfortunate, but that's my decision. And I remember walking out of that meeting and going along in the underpass by the National Theatre, and there was a poster for the next play, and it had my name on it. So they decided I was going to say yes before they talked to me, so they got what they deserved.
Yeah. So, I mean, you've got to stick to what you believe, you know?
Yeah, you've got to. I mean, and I was quite young, and you've got to see whether you can do it or not, you know.
Yeah. No, 100%. And what a lot of people won't realise is you're actually an incredible musician.
Well, incredible is a bit of a. But I've started.
No way! What a treat!
Started playing a bit of ukulele, and this is a very old song. In fact, Sting sang it in a film. He was playing the devil in the film. I forget what the film was. Even when the darkest clouds are in the sky, you mustn't sigh and you mustn't cry. Spread a little happiness as you go by. Please try. What's the use of worrying and feeling blue? When days are long, keep on smiling through. Spread a little happiness till dreams come true. Surely you'll be wise to make the best of every blue day. Don't you realize you'll find next Monday or next Tuesday your golden shoes day. Even when the darkest clouds are in the sky, you mustn't sigh and you mustn't cry. Spread a little happiness as you go by.
Woo! I loved it.
And I've got, if you want, I've got an Irish song for your mum.
Do you? Oh, she would love that.
She'll know it as well. It's he was a writer called Percy French.
Okay.
Oh, Mary, this London's a wonderful sight, with people here working by day and by night. They don't sow potatoes, nor barley, nor wheat, but there's gangs of them digging for gold in the street. At least when I asked them, that's what I was told. So I just took a hand at this digging for gold. But for all that I found her, I might as well be in the place where the dark morn sweeps down to the sea. I believe that when writing a wish you expressed as to how the fine ladies of London were dressed, if you'll believe me when asked to a ball, they don't wear no tops to their dresses at all. Oh, I've seen myself, and you could not in truth tell if they were bound for a ball or a bath. Don't be starting them fashions now, Mary McCree, in the place where the dark morn sweeps down to the sea.
Oh, I love it. Mum is going to be so thrilled when she sees this, Paul. And you have a very strong connection to Ireland.
I do. My parents are Irish.
Mm-hmm.
My mum was from Inisheer in the Aran Islands, and my dad was from Dublin. And we go over quite a lot, and we have a house in West Cork, in a beautiful Beara Peninsula.
Mm-hmm.
So and we're hopefully going there in August.
Oh.
If things go all right, you know.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, like Ireland is literally the most beautiful place to be in the summertime, especially when it's good.
Yeah, if you get the weather, it's the best place on earth.
And it's just going into like the bars and the sessions being on. There's something so magical about it.
Yeah, although I was reading about pubs. You have to book to go there. The place has to serve food. You can only stay 105 minutes.
No.
And you're not allowed to sing.
Oh, that's just so sad though. It's not going to be the same at all, but hopefully in the new year it'll be different.
Yeah, people will just go outside and sing, you know.
Completely.
Yeah, really looking forward to going over there.
Yeah. And also, I forgot to ask before, you're in a band at the moment called the Kippers.
Yes. Well, we've been going for about 30 years.
Yeah.
And it's all original music. We played Ronnie Scott's last October, and we're supposed to again, but you know, haven't been able to. But all the music is written by Stephen Warbeck,
mm-hmm.
who got an Oscar for writing the music for Shakespeare in Love, the film.
That's insane.
And he's his old mate is Andrew Rankin, who plays drums for the Pogues, and Andrew plays in the Kippers as well.
Wow.
So we're sort of quite, you know, it's a 9-piece. There's lots of us, and it's silly music, really.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think it's fun.
It's if you look it up, it's Kippers, but it's got a silent H in front of the K,
mm-hmm.
Which Facebook won't let us have a small H in front of it for some reason.
Really? I didn't realise that. And you have a Facebook page and a website if people want to go and see the music?
I think we do.
They can Google.
I'm supposed to be doing the. There's quite on YouTube. There's quite a few videos,
Yeah.
and there's one with me playing sellotape.
Hmm.
So yeah, there's some stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
Um,
No, definitely. Because our viewers would love that. Because it's great. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
And have you always played music then?
yeah. In fact, when I was about 10, I made my own guitar because, of course, it was at the time of Hendrix and Clapton and all the great 60s bands, you know. And so I made this guitar, which was sort of like just a square box. It was dreadful. It sounded dreadful. I call it the Twack, and because that's the name, that's the sound it made. Then, yeah, always played, not very well. But when I was at Contact Theatre in Manchester, I worked with Stephen Warbeck, and he always used to write the music for shows and sometimes act them. But he always used to he used to say to the actors, "Do you play anything?" And if they said no, he'd say, "Right, go and learn the trumpet, or go and learn." He said, "Even the recorder, just learn the recorder."
Yeah.
And then at the end of the run of a show, there'd be a end party, and he'd always get a band together, and we'd sort of like, you know, say which songs we wanted to do. So, and then from that, he started the Kippers, like 30 years ago, and we've kept going. We're all really good mates, and we've done. You know, we don't like Ronnie Scott's was brilliant. We've played the Big Chill Festival, and you know, quite a few venues and festivals, and so
Incredible.
it'd be nice to do that again as well.
Yeah. And music's such a great way of bringing people together, isn't it? So
yeah. I mean, it's sort of it's a fun band. I mean, they're serious. They're really good musicians.
yeah.
I'm sort of like, it's a bit like being in a really posh car, but I'm definitely the passenger who sings. In fact, we got a review in The Guardian saying Paul Bradley sings like a lorry driver.
No.
Which I thought was a compliment.
I think you should be proud of it.
Yeah.
So funny. And so, Paul, what's next for you now?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I went last year. I went back to Holby.
Yeah.
For a bit, and that was brilliant. That was lovely going back there. It was a short time, but I absolutely don't know. There's just this film with Robert De Niro, but
what? Really?
not really. In my head, in my brain, there's.
Oh my gosh! I was gonna say breaking news.
I wish.
One day.
But he probably wants to work with me, you know. It's just his people have got to talk to my people, and you know.
Yeah, well, I would just be waiting. What's going to happen? Do you know what I mean?
But no, just have to wait, really, see what happens.
Yeah, 100%. Paul, this has been such an honour speaking to you, and I'm so.
No, thank you. No, it's been lovely.
Yeah, it's just so lovely, and I'm so thankful after meeting you. You were so welcoming to the idea of doing this for the show, and yeah, me and my mum are both very thankful.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah.
And for the music, the chat, everything, it's just brilliant. I can't wait for mum to see the song for it. She'd absolutely just love that.
Brilliant. Well, nice to talk to you again.
You too, Paul.
See you.
Bye. Have a great day.
Cheers. Bye.
Yeah, so that was the incredible Paul Bradley. He's also in a band we mentioned before, and he was speaking about the interview, called the Kippers, and that's spelled with HKIPPERS. Go and check them out; they're incredible. And obviously check out all his acting work, all his stage performances, everything. He is just a great man, and he's so lovely and down to earth, isn't he, Anya?
Yeah, he was actually very nice man.
And so, did you enjoy your serenade?
I did. He was just.
I
I didn't expect him to do that for me now.
Yeah, I know. I actually loved it. I couldn't believe my eyes when we were talking. He was like, "Good, you your mum now." I was like, "Oh, what a cutie!"
He's a lovely
Yeah. So next we have a tune by Joe Keegan. So Joe's been a great friend of the show for the last year. I played with him previously. He's an incredible guy. He's just got a first, actually.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That first class honours.
Yeah, at the RNCM. So from those early days of being on The Voice, he's now signed to Scruff of the Neck, and he's now just finished his degree. He's incredible. And this is Joe Keegan, Love Again.
And Joe's going to go a long way.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm chasing that firelight. What if the fire burns out? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Girl, I need you now, 'cause we're running out of daylight. It's going dark in this town. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't you let me down. We all need someone to hold in the middle of the night. But you wake up in the morning and it doesn't seem right. How can I say you're not the one that's on my mind? It's no lie, you know. They say that love grows old. You'll find the one I hold. He brings you love again. He brings you love again. I'm chasing that firelight. What if the fire burns out? I'm chasing that firelight. What if the fire burns out? We all need someone to hold in the middle of the night. But you wake up in the morning and it doesn't seem right. How can I say you're not the one that's on my mind? It's no lie, you know. They say that love grows old. You'll find the one I hold. He brings you love again. Brings you love again. Bring me love, bring me 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 love again. It's no lie, you know. They say that love grows old. You'll find the one I hold. He brings you love again. It's no lie, you know. They say that love grows old. You'll find the one I hold. He brings you love again. He brings you love again.
That's all we have got tonight for. Thank you very much to all our listeners for listening tonight. And hopefully we'll be back next Tuesday, same time, same place, at 7 o'clock from the O'Brien's Attic.
Yeah, the famous attic. So yeah, we'll be back on Tuesday, and this time we'll be joined by the incredible musician Jay Dunn where he's going to be joined by his producer and head editor of Big City Jacks, Tony Long. It's a great conversation we all had. So we're going to be finishing off with Matthew Holland's new track, Love. So this is an incredible tune. It features Tina Kane, who we had on the show before, and Ben Robinson. You can find Matthew on Facebook, Spotify, Instagram, just typing in Matthew Holland. We hope you all have a great week.
And I'm meant to say a big thank you to Paul Bradley for the great interview we had with him.
Absolutely fabulous.
So have a lovely week, and hopefully we'll see you next week.